What is up, guys? It is Russ here, PokeRuss here, and we are back for another Deck Tech Thursday. So, this one came out a little bit late this week. Life happens, but we still have a Deck Tech Thursday this week, and we'll be back to Deck Tech Tuesdays next week. And we're jumping into the Tournament of Power, and you're like, Russell, that Goku, we've seen him before. And you're right. So, the Tournament of Power brought a lot of new stuff with it, a lot of new decks, a lot of cool new ideas, and we're going to work our way into those. Next week, we're going to have a bit more of a Tournament of Power style deck, sort of, and go over, like, maybe Universe 2 deck or Universe 8 deck, or I don't remember what universes are in there. I just know the cards. I don't remember what universes are which, but, this week, we're working our way in. We're augmenting an old idea with Tournament Power cards and putting a new spin on things, which is something a new set always does as well. This is something that this deck uses a card I've been literally wanting to use since set 1. And that's this guy. Terra Assault Frost. Terra Assault Frost was a cool card in concept. A lot of people tried to use it back in set 1, but just because of the lack of like support for Frost, it just really didn't work. It was a great idea. The card has a great ability. Its effect is, one, it's an Evo. It evolves on 2 red, 1 anything off of a Frost. It has double strike. And when this card attacks, KO that card after the battle. So when you attack into something that's bigger than you, you don't die. Super nice in this game. But it KOs the card. Then, if your opponent's leader has 10,000 or less power, inflict 1 damage to your opponent. So, it's a card that does damage outside of the normal things. And I did low-key did want to throw Hit in this deck, because it's another, like, make a deck based around not actually attacking your opponent directly like the game is normally played. But Hit's still a push, because as soon as your opponent sees you're playing regular Hits, it's But we did get more Frost support in this set, so we're going to be using this card, which is super awesome. Anyway, let's go over the leader. The leader is pretty standard. We've gone over this leader probably about 100 times already. We have Son Goku. Can only place up to 6 mana. Place one card from your hand to your drop area. If you have no energy, choose 2 cards from your life and add them to your energy. When you have 4 less life, draw 2 cards, flip this card over, and we've gone Super Saiyan 3. You can still only have 6 mana. At the end of each of your turns, choose up to 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode, which plays to the defense of this deck. This deck really does a lot of fun things. And obviously when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So pretty standard. I'm not going to go over the leader too much because we've gone over him a million times. Kind of just push him off to the side. And let's get into the actual meat and potatoes. So this deck focuses around some Tramplers. Biggest Trampler of all, and I am missing a couple cards from this at the moment, but as I get more cards, obviously we'll have more stuff to do, but it's okay. First, we have Miraculous Comeback Gohan. We run 4 copies of that. Miraculous Comeback Gohan, double strike. If you have 3 or less cards in your hand besides this card, reduce the energy cost of this card by 4. So it becomes a 2-drop if you have very little hand. And when this card KOs an opposing battle card, inflict 2 damage. So this is essentially Trample. Trample in this game is so much fun, and your opponent just doesn't expect it. If they're just sitting at that line, and you're just like, I just have this blocker, I can't take it directly, I have this blocker, I'm dead either way. I'm literally dead either way. Like, So Trample is super nice in this game, in this deck as well, and that's kind of where it comes into play with the Frost as well. So we have the 4 Gohans there. We're playing a pretty thick Frost line. We're playing 4 of the old Frost, which you're rarely ever, almost never. There's like 0.2% chance you're ever trying his effect because it's not good. But he's a turn 1 Frost, and that's important for Evolve. But his effect is main phase. Pay 2, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. choose one Frost with Evolve among them and evolve this card into it. Now, if we were playing all of the Evo Frost, I would say this card might not be bad, especially with this leader. You can drop this on turn 3, pay the 2, go right into your Evo, boom, start hitting for double strike. Super aggro right off the bat. That's a different style deck. Because there are some really bad Evos. Like, a lot of the Evos, the only reason we're playing Frost, the Terra Frost Assault with his low attack is because of his effect. He doesn't need that high attack. So, we're also playing 1, 2, 3, 4 of the new Frost Tactician. Now, this is the good baby Frost. When you play this card, choose one Frost with 2,000 power or less from your deck and add it to your hand. So, this one is the one you're going to be playing the most of. You drop it, you grab your big Frost, get ready to Evo. The only problem with this is obviously your opponent, and anytime you play a Frost, your opponent's going to see the other Frost coming, obviously. But, because that's the only reason you play Frost, is to evolve it. So, this is the other baby Frost. We're running 2 different kinds of Evolved Frost. We're running 2 of the Ultimate Evolution Frost. Evolves for 4. Triple Strike, which is huge. I could see bumping this up by 1, actually, to be honest, I could see bumping this up by 1. I have, like, 1 card that I'm kind of playing around with, not sure what to do with. It's like that 50th card. So you could probably bump this up to 3, because it does have that Triple Strike on 4. This, to be honest, if we could consistently hit this guy off this, I mean, that's game. That's beautiful. Triple Striker, boom. When a card evolves into this card, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and switch them to rest mode. So it switches things to rest mode, which helps with Gohan. So you can attack into with Gohan, or with Frost, the Frost we're about to show, because we're running 4 Terra Assault Frost. So with these and these, you get some early advantages, and then you just start winning off of the trample effects. You just kind of pick off what your opponent leaves open for you, and you just do that extra bit of damage when they're not expecting. Because sometimes they just leave a little Kaba on field, and they're just like, oh man, they're gonna attack my Kaba. It's not gonna hurt me. Like it's a threat that they have to get off board, so they're going to attack it and do what they need to do. Instead of attacking my leader, I've already got my advantage out of it. I've got my 1 life taken, and then boom, boom. It turns those little good advantage cards into bad advantage cards for your opponent real quick. So, how do you consistently get over your opponent? These ones you don't need to get over your opponent, but these ones you do need to get over your opponent. How do we do that? Well, we run our next card. Ready to go. Next card. We run 4 copies of Planet M2. So M2 is a nice field spell, and to be honest, I didn't even think about this until recently. I was playing against a Pan player, and a Pan player was playing these. I'm just like, oh my gentle Jesus. That 5,000 puts in so much math, it's almost unreal. Like, with the Pan boost plus this, you instantly have to come up with 10,000 power out of nowhere once per turn. What? This card is so nice, especially like with like I said, the Pan boost. You could run this with the Pan leader, but the reason I'm running with Super Saiyan 3 is for the defense and for the obviously accelerated energy. But again, M2 and Pan just work well together. M2 works pretty well with, like I said, the trample things. If you just need an extra little boost, make your opponent pay that extra little bit if they have to get over something, waste their hand, and then just trample over them. That's kind of the thing. You don't use the M2 for this attack. You use the M2 on the attack before, make them pay the extra cards so they have very little cards in hand to respond to the miraculous with. And that's where these really come in handy. So, next, another thing, because once you get Miraculous on field, your opponent's going to be like, nope, done, gotta get rid of it, gotta summon my Jiren, gotta summon this, that, gotta get rid of it, nope, can't have it on board. Bodice's Assistance, a nice set 1 card that really brings it home, especially with the Terra Frost. This little Terra Frost guy, he's weak, 1,500, your opponent's going to get over him easily. Nope, you negate their attack, boop, stand him back up. Now, unless they have like a Jiren, they're not going to attack over him, and you get to do the shenanigans all over again. Because obviously they're going to attack with a creature that they wanted to get over this. You negated their attack, they're in rest mode. You just attack into it, Revenge Kill, and with M2, if you have M2 and you don't use it to like go aggro, M2 weakens their Awakened Leader, so his effect pops off. Because his effect, I don't know if I went over his effect. If your opponent has, when this card battles a battle card, KO that card after the battle. Then, if your opponent's leader card is 10,000 power or less, inflict 1 damage to your opponent. So this ensures that you're always getting his effect off, which is super, super nice. You just pop it to their leader, and yeah. We're running... This is another one of the cards I don't have all 4 of yet, but we're running 4 of the Foreseeing Hit. This just obviously does what Hit does. This card is so powerful, especially in this upcoming meta. Double Strike, when you play this card from your hand, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose up to 2 battle cards with 3,500 power or less from their hand, and send them to their warp. At the end of your opponent's next turn, return all cards that were sent to warp with this skill to their hand. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So you're already reducing... You summon this, you have your Gohan on field, or you summon this and it puts you down to like that thing. So you have your 4 mana, then you play your 2 for your Gohan, and you're just like, okay, pop the 2 cards in your hand. Now they have less things to respond to. We're going to pop M2 for this attack, make you waste a couple more cards. You're low on cards. I know what cards you already have in your hand. It's safe to go in with Gohan now and punch. Knowing your opponent's hand in this deck, super, super, super important. So, next we're gonna run over the basics, of course, because we're running the basics reds. We're running Saiyan Kaba. Pretty standard. We want to awaken ourselves so we can get to that other thing. Our other awaken cards are Our other awaken cards are the 2 increased mass Saiyans. Again, this is this is all to just make sure you flip over properly, because a good player is gonna hold you off from evolving. Unless they're playing Zeno, then they're kind of pushing you to evolve. And then we're playing 4 Ability Unleashed Ultimate Gohan. Card's so good. I mean, if you're making a red deck, you almost gotta shove this in any red deck you're playing. I can't imagine a red deck without seeing these guys. You either draw or it turns into a double strike. I mean, you get to choose on a whim right when you need it to choose it. We're running our 7 super combos, 4 boost tech Piccolos, and 3 unbreakable Super Saiyans and Gokus. I always kind of try to keep this at 7, not 8, because this does get a little hefty, even with this, with your negates and stuff like that. And then you're kind of using your mana to boost and protect your guys, so you can go for the trample again next turn. And then the last 3 cards in the deck are 2 Time Patrol Trunks and 1 Mass Saiyan. This is pretty much to get rid of any threats to your guys that you just can't power over. You pop them, and then it leaves the blockers, so they're kind of in that situation again. Blocker gets damaged or life gets damaged. Like this kind of just pushes them into a better position for you. And Time Patrol Trunks, obvious, pretty much tutor cards to your hand. Also, not suggesting, but there is the silly little combo Time Patrol plus Evolution Premonition Frost. If you have this little guy in your hand and it's cheaper to hypothetically, if you can possibly, like, say you look at the top 2 cards of your deck and you see these 2 guys. You take this to hand, you put this back on top of your deck because of his effect, and then you play, you 2 mana, boom. Super nice, super nice. So, small little combo, nothing crazy, but this is, I don't know what to call this. This is like Trample. This is like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Trample. This is coming in and beating your opponent in a game they didn't know they were playing. You're focusing more on their creatures, and obviously the more creatures are taking off their board, and if they're not Zeno, this deck does struggle a team, but with Zeno, the more creatures and stuff you're just really controlling the board and putting yourself into those positions where it puts them in a bad position that they don't know they're getting into. And that's really what this deck's about. It's super fun. Definitely tested it out this past weekend. It was super fun, and I can't wait to test it out a little bit more. So I didn't test it with the Foreseeing Hits. I do need to get more of those, obviously, but deck's fun. Next week we'll come back with more, I'm going to say more of a Tournament of Power deck, and I hope you guys let me know in the comment section what you'd like to see tournament power wise. What kind of deck have you just kind of been looking all over the internet for and just been like, I haven't seen this yet. I'm looking for this list, but like just nobody is there a list like that out there? Like you know what I mean? Everybody has that kind of thing. Like I just really want to use this card, but I'm not seeing anybody use this card. Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to check out the other stuff on our channel as well. This is Deck Tech Tuesday, which means you guys can submit decks for me to review and go over and show how they play, see if I change anything about them, stuff like that. This is a community style deck profile session. So if you guys want to submit decks to me, you can either do it in the email address down in the description. You can leave the deck in the comment section down below, or just available now is the Discord. It's also in the Discord. It's available in the description box down below. Not only can you submit decks there, you can join the community. There's Dragon Ball players, there's Monster Hunter players, there's Pokemon players. All, if you like any of those things, this is the community for you. We're a great community, fun, and so come join the community as well down there, and don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel, being Pokemon, Monster Hunter, Dragon Ball Super TCG, and anything random I decide to throw fun on the channel. I will catch you guys later. Have a great day. PokeRuss out. Peace.